You probably heard him chuntering away there in the background. Bill Bailey's with us this morning. Hello.
Chuntering?
You're
do you
musing
feel
about
about
things. What we were actually discussing was we neither of us have seen the Northern Lights.
Right.
You have.
Yes.
With your own eyes.
With
actually.
my own human eyes.
Yes. How was it?
It was quite amazing.
Did it have a kind of mystical, magical effect on you? Because people say that it's like something.
Well, it is because it's the planet showing off its amazing sort of wares, as it were.
The magnificence. So people have been sending in pictures this morning. Images they have seen. Do you want to have a look at these with us?
See if they're better than what you saw. OK, this is Cawood Church. Ooh.
That's pretty impressive.
In North Yorkshire. That looks like something out of a murder mystery.
Well, it does.
Quite spooky.
But the thing is, that you see, what about that is that the Northern Lights have this ability to have all these different colours. Look at that. You've got reds and pinks and blues and greens. And they're always different.
That's the Lake District, Langdale Valley. Johnny sent that one.
Oh, wow. Is that him in the picture?
Yeah, he's happy.
Happy days. Kate is Brixham in Devon. Oh, my word, look at that.
Beautiful. That's amazing, isn't it?
Joe sent us a picture from Hythe on the Kent coast.
Good Lord. It's amazing, isn't it?
Did it look like that when...
No. I mean, the one I saw was
very... naked eyes.
Was green. It sometimes manifests itself as a kind of a sort of neon green, which kind of pulses in waves. And the best way to sort of film, you put your camera on a time lapse and you just take lots and lots of pictures and then you sort of run them together. So you see this kind of... There's almost like a dance in the sky.
Do you feel you've been there, done it now, or are you...?
No, not at all.
You'd do it again?
Absolutely. I would definitely go again.
Do you know, talking about been there, done it, do you think... why write a memoir now? Because that's why you're here to talk.
It is, that's right. Well, I've been thinking about one for a while, and then the last couple of books I wrote were about specific things, about birds and then happiness. And then I thought, well... I'll write a memoir, but I don't want it to be in the traditional way. I want it to be in my own particular way, that's why I decided to write about my animals and my encounters with animals, and then use that as a framework on which to write the memoir.
Yeah, and they're not necessarily conventional, because you might think about pets as in dogs and cats, of which there's quite a few, dogs particularly. But then there are ones animals you've encountered on travels, and you've travelled a lot.
Yeah.
One story I saw in the book, an encounter with an owl.
Yes. In
an unlikely location, which you then bought.
Yes.
Can you just take us through that tale?
Yeah. So we were travelling through China, in Guangdong province, and we went to a restaurant, and I was with the family, and there was an owl in the restaurant. It was never really explicitly mentioned whether it was going to be eaten or whether it was for demo purposes.
It was in a cage.
It was in a cage alongside a lot of other animals, and we felt sorry for it. And so we said, we have to get this owl out of here. So we offered to buy it off them, and then they were quite happy to sell it to us. So we bought the owl, and they taped it up and put it in a box, and we carried it off in a taxi to release it somewhere. But my Mandarin, I don't know about your Mandarin, it's not brilliant. I mean, mine's pretty basic, but I was looking in my phrase book for, is there any way around here where we can release an owl? It's not in any phrase book. So somehow, with a lot of pointing and forest and fly away, we managed to get the guy to take us to a forest, and we cut it loose.
And you had checked, because I know you love animals, and you had checked about whether it was the right thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't want to be all gung-ho and like, yeah, let's release it. And the owl was just like, what are you doing? it was like a pet owl.
No clue what I've got to do.
So I knew the guy who was in charge of sort of birds of prey at London Zoo, and I phoned him from China. I said, oh, hello, it's Bill Bailey here. I've just bought an owl. Any advice? And I went to voicemail. Then he phoned me back. He goes, has it had anything to eat? And I said, well, I don't know. And he goes, and we were in the taxi to the forest, and he said, could you get a rat or something? I said, no, not right now.
To feed
to feed it, yeah. And I said, I haven't got a rat. I can't get a rat. I said, it looks pretty well fed. Anyway, we let it go, and it flew off, and it was a wonderful moment.
You had a blackbird that you nursed you found.
Yes, we did. We found a blackbird.
And that kept coming back?
It did. Pluto, yeah, he was very sweet.
Do you name all the animals?
Not all of them, no. But inevitably, you can't help it, can you?
I like the animal stories where... that dinner party where you went to with your was it your neighbours when you
Yes.
went to? And it just started badly and ended up just
Yes,
not
it didn't
very
end
nice.
well. Well, the thing was, we had a big black cat at the time, Boo Boo, and he was a bit of a sort of feral. He was kind of one of those cats that just decides to sort of go off and spend time with other people, and he'd come back and go. And he was a bit of a sort of rascal. Anyway, well, our neighbours had invited us around for dinner, and they'd said, oh, they'd done the same thing. They looked after a bird, a little baby bird, and they raised it, and then they'd let it go, and then at the end of the dinner party, they said, yeah, and then a big black cat jumped down, bit its head off, right? And we were like, oh, that couldn't be ours, could it? It was awkward.
Awkward, to say the least. So your animals, do they travel with you? Because you tour a lot. You're always on the road.
Really.
Does anyone travel with you?
No, I mean, the dog used to come... one of our dogs used to come with me when I went to gigs, and he used to sort of come in the van, and then he would, like, wander on stage now and again, snooze under
Who's
the
that?
keyboards. Oh, that was Jacob, and there's a couple of birds there. That's Jacob, and that's Bex, the chameleon.
Now,
and that's Jacob and Teddy, the dog.
What is Jacob?
She's a cockatoo.
And they live for a very long time, don't they?
They do, yeah. They can live to... That's Luchu, the dog. They do. They can live to 100 in captivity. So...
do you know how old Jacob is?
She's 50.
OK.
So...
Does she talk?
She says hello. I mean, she's not very voluble, no, but she says hello in a variety of different accents.
Well, she's got time. She's got another 50 years to kind of figure out what she wants to do. Which one's this?
Oh, that's a husky in Iceland.
Oh, not yours?
No, no.
Is that your tongue or the dog's tongue?
That's the dog's... What do you mean, is that my tongue?
Well, do you know what?
It's coming out sideways. What, do you think
well, tongues can... Yeah, exactly. So tongues can come out sideways.
Yeah, but that's not what I sort of think I do.
I don't know you
That's the dog's tongue.
Look, you could see, if someone said that's your tongue, that would be believable.
That's
not the question I thought I was going to get this one. Is that your tongue or the dog's?
A long way away from that. You're interested, if not good at technology. You're interested in that stuff because it's part of your tour, isn't it? You're talking about AI and all of that stuff.
That's right. Yeah, so there's quite a bit of that in the show. I mean, I've got a sort of a Billbot in the show, which is a sort of...
What does Billbot do?
Billbot, well, it's not very good. It's rubbish, obviously, it's for comedic purposes, but it's kind of mocking the idea of AI being better than us, and I sort of send that whole thing up. And so I use a bit of that. I've got a new bit of kit. Oh, I love this. I've got a laser harp, which is a harp made out of lasers, as you'd imagine. So it's kind of beams of laser that you put your hand through, and then it generates sound.
Can you play the harp?
I can play the harp, yes.
When did you learn to play the harp?
Oh, you know, spare minute.
No, I don't know. I know you play lots.
I play a lot of instruments, yes.
Is there one outstanding instrument, I mean, as in one that you haven't yet played that you want to?
Oh, do you know what? The violin. I'd love to play the violin. So that's my next challenge. I've taught myself the bagpipes, so that's in the show as well. But I had to do that, you know, in sort of a field.
Away from people.
Your bot, Elon Musk is apparently thinking of putting robot drivers into cars.
Right.
Are you do you embrace AI that much?
I don't know. The thing is, statistically, yes. I mean, it's probably a good idea, but it's a big leap, isn't it, for us? A leap of faith to entrust ourselves to technology. When it goes wrong, it can go spectacularly wrong.
They'll be replacing comedians in no time.
What do you think?
No.
No, they won't. AI can never replace me. Look, the tongue would come straight out and you'd know whose tongue it was.
You should take it as a compliment. The husky had a nice tongue.
All right.
Bill Bailey's memoir, My Animals and Other Animals. You kept it wide. You've kept the title wide. It gives you all sorts of scope, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
All sorts of leeway.
Little tribute to
There's some very
Gerald.
funny stories in there. Also, the Theatre Royal Haymarket from the 28th of December. You're just about to go to Australia, aren't you?
I am, yes, yeah.
Enjoy.